you have your third baby,
Yeah.
and you're feeling so ashamed about it.
Yes.
And people are telling you, like, God did not say go ye multiply. He didn't direct it to you.
Yes.
I mean, really?
Yes. Because what people don't understand is that there's so many things that happen that are probably planned or unplanned, and somehow kids, as you say, they're from God.
They're from God.
Yeah,
especially the unplanned
the
ones.
unplanned one. So you tend to have this oops, and there's nothing you can do about it because you are a believer in no abortion, and so the kid is here and you have to bebana na mzigo. But now you already have this kind of shame, but you still have to stand for your principles. That this is it, this is mine. I have to go along with it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So baby number 3 came.
Yeah.
With a lot of difficulty.
Yeah.
And you didn't talk to your husband.
We hadn't
for 1
talked.
week.
We hadn't talked.
After you discovered that you're pregnant.
Yes, and trust me, I had all those thoughts of what can we think about, let's think about doing away with it, let's, all those
thoughts came to your head.
They were coming to me.
You are a married couple.
Yes.
So
But
secure.
you are secured, but you see now what is the society going to perceive you? How is it going to be perceived? Because as I said, you have all these advertisements that are coming through and they're telling you about planning, and from where you're standing, you know very well already you are not in a position to handle all this, but you're telling yourself, I don't have a choice. I actually don't have a choice. Yes, I have to go along with it.
Yes, the Lord has given you this child.
And or rather at that time, sometimes you're wondering where was God, but then you're asking yourself, okay, fine. At that point, you are not thinking in terms of God per se having given you. At that point, you're thinking of could be it was my irresponsibility. Because at the time you're telling you advertisements are coming in terms of you need to plan, and you are aware that you need to have planned. Because initially your whole intention was to have 1 kid, but so it is some aspect of being irresponsible. That's where you found yourself in this kind of mess. But see, you're making this lemonade because you have the lemon now, and you're making this lemonade, and you have to drink it. My pastor used to say that maji umeyavulia nguo lazima uyaoge. So you have to swim into it, and you're expecting the baby and you're telling yourself, we will manage, we don't have a choice. And I remember that at one point my husband told me, let's go for a walk, and he told me, Clara, we will make it. No one has ever come to this door and told us and asked us what are we eating, or can I bring you an extra plate, we will manage. And I think from there, when he took the first step of making me assuring me, that's when I saw the possibility,
So it was the economic challenge of raising this child that was bugging you.
It was actually that was bugging me. And then number 2, what will the society say? What will people say of me? I am just from being pregnant. I am pregnant again. At that point, I think at some point our Sunday school teacher told me it's good when actually she made me smile at the storm, because she told me, you know what? It's good when you're increasing the kingdom. We don't have kids in Sunday school, so bring them on. And I'm thinking, really? I'm the one who's carrying this baby. I'm the one who is tossing around. But to me, at that point, it wasn't a blessing. It was a blessing. It was a disguise. It was this shame that I've brought myself into. I did not plan. What was so difficult in me having all those precautions, because it's not that I don't know, I knew all of them. And even the time when I went to hospital, the practitioner wasn't so fair on me, because he was like, you needed her. This is not something that, it was, actually, let me tell you, women go through so much, especially in terms of being embraced during this time, and all you want to hear are those small things of, you are looking nice, you are looking wow. despite all these things having transformed you, and you are no longer the size that you were before, and now all of a sudden, something is growing inside you, and you have to embrace it, because this is motherhood. This is your purpose in life. You have to bring forth this generation,
So you embraced this, and the child came.
And it was wow. And especially I remember when we were in hospital, I didn't even know what to call her. We had not even thought of a name. Oh my God, we didn't even think of what we call her. And I was with my sister during that Sunday morning.
You knew it was a girl.
I knew it was a girl again. I knew it was a girl, and we didn't know what to call her. And I remember we were just with her. She was like, "What do we call her? Can we just combine two names, Daisy and Jasmine, and we have a Jada?" So we just thought, wow, Jada, yeah, it's simple. No one is going to show up the name in school, so let's not give our kids those hard names of Shaniqua, Shaniquit, those names that people come with and it becomes a challenge. So for us, we're like, fine, this is a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
We have Jasmines and Daisies combined, so here
wow.
we are. Yeah, we have a Jada. So everyone thought it was after Jada Pinkett. But for us, we
hadn't even thought about that.
We hadn't even thought about
Daisy,
it.
Jasmine, Jada.
Yeah, Jada, period. So, fine, Jada is here. And I remember my one good friend, Jimmy, calling me and asking me, okay, fine, now, whom do we have this time? And I told him, it's a bouquet of flowers. Because we can't, I think even at some point he was like, is it bougainvillea? There's a flower for that, yeah?
Yes.
Something like that, and I was like, no, Jimmy, it's just a bouquet. You come and find out which bouquet this is.
Wow, Jimmy.
Yeah, So awesome. Now Jada was there. We had Jada with us. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just from, and something funny, when you're from maternity, what they tell you, see you next year.
Oh, they tell you that.
Oh yeah, see you next year. And true to
I
their
like
word.
that.
True to their word. I was there, and I used to tell them my file is the one which is so big, so you can't miss it out because I've been here there. So it was just there the last year, and I'm here again. Here I am.
All right, so 3 girls. You had
Yes.
only anticipated for one, planned for one.
Planned for
Now it's a
one.
bouquet of flowers.
It's a bouquet of flowers.
And I'm sure your husband, you're all overwhelmed with joy.
Oh yeah, at that point now this is who we are.
Embracing
We
all
are
the
embracing,
love we
yes,
have.
this is who we are. Our never say never had to come to pass. We had to eat back our words and just say, this is the doing of the Lord, and it is beautiful in our eyes, So you really have to now take the words back and tell God, now you have to make beauty out of these ashes.
Yes.
We have to
provide.
Given us,
It's
do
on your
everything. Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's on His bill.
All right.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And what I saw from my family also, and from all my loved ones, everyone, they're just loving on us, especially now when society embraces you, when you thought that they will not be for you, they'll be against you, and all of a sudden they embrace you. Because all those fears are from the devil, you're just scared of what if, but then they embrace you, and society embraces you. It is all wow. It is all wow, because you come to realize that you're not the first one, you're not the only one who's gone through it, and especially when the Bible tells us that there's no challenge that is too hard for us, that we cannot handle it.
Yes.
There's no temptation actually.
That
And
is
you don't
not
common
to
to man. Yeah.
Yes. And there's always a way
There's
out.
always a way out. There's always a way out. So there was a way out. There was actually a way out.
It was God's way.
It was God's way.
All right. So at this particular point in time, you have 3 girls.
Yes.
And now
I would actually say 4, because at that time I was living with my niece.
Oh yes. Plus Ruby.
Plus Ruby. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So you have your 3 girls plus Ruby,
Yes,
4 girls,
4 girls.
and then it's at this point that Daisy started becoming sick.
Yes.
Or
Yes. Back in 2012, I remember, all of a sudden in January it rained.
January.
Yes, it rained. And the weather was so cold that you're wondering what's
In January.
In January. But then it did not start in 2012. It has started way back in, I think, in 2011.
What, the rain?
Not the rain, the condition that she had.
And
So-
what condition was that?
In the end, we came to be told that it was...
So before you were told what it is, what were you observing at home?
the first time what happened is we were going to work in the morning, and then we were called back to school that she had fainted.
Okay, she had never fainted
She
before.
had
in her
never
life.
fainted before. That when she was just getting out of the bus, she fainted.
How old was she?
She was, I think,
At that
4.
time?
At that time, she was 4.
4 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And we were thinking, okay, well, that was quite strange. So I rushed back home, and then I took her and went to hospital. And then we were told maybe it's because she hadn't taken breakfast. There was so maybe. But then in the long run, actually, what they had said, it was low sodium. I think something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she was put on some sodium, these ions, and some salts, and because that's what they detected, that her salt level was
Were low. Okay.
That is something that even myself I wouldn't have thought. So she was put on that, and then she was coughing and all that, and then we went to hospital. That same year, I think back in 2011, they had said they had banned all cough syrups.
Okay.
So our nearest hospital was at Akan. And when we went there, because they were...
She had started coughing.
Yeah, she was coughing. She was having the normal colds and,
Because the weather had abruptly
changed. Yeah.
So you
So
thought,
we thought, could be it's the cold and all of that. So we rushed to hospital. She was given the steroids because they were giving you the inhalers.
Okay, because cough syrups were
They had been
banned
banned.
at that time.
Yeah, they had been banned at that time. So she was on it, on and off. And then we thought, wow, the kid is okay. So all of a sudden she will kind of just collapse. Not collapse in a way that, but she will just pass out, basically.
For how long?
For some moment, I can't really recall, but she'll just pass out, and then you wonder.
For instance, you are with her and
Yes.
she's playing, and
she's
then
playing, and then all of a
someone
sudden,
calls you, "Mommy,"
and
Daisy.
Daisy has fallen down,
and she's
yeah,
off, and then she comes back.
off, kabisa. So we went to hospital, and they had to do some ECG, EGG, some of those tests, yeah. And when they did, they said there was some problem in I think ECG, and even I think an EG, something like that. And they realized that her brain was not systematic.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is after how long? The period of fainting and.
I think maybe after 2 or 3 months or so.
Okay.
So after that, we were put on some epileptic medicine. So
Okay.
they say she was epileptic. She might not have been fully into the it, but she had those fits. Because now from what the brain level detected, the way the tests were done, so they say this is what is disturbing her. So she was put on those medicine, on some epilim for quite a while, and they could not withdraw them.
Before that, she had been given the steroids, so she was
Yes.
taking the steroids.
Yes, at the same time also having the epilim. I think it was called epilim, but then some epileptic medicines. So from that, I think what was aggravating everything was the cold, because when it gets cold, she would really hurt.
Her respiratory should breathe
Yes.
heavily, or
Exactly, she would really get hurt. She will just she'll be like, "Mom, I can't breathe. I can't take it anymore." It's
Really?
called
At 4 years.
At 4 years. At 4 years. So she'll just have those episodes of having some heart attacks, so painful ones. And then she passes out at times, and then she comes back. But then it's because the weather was bad. Okay, I want to believe so. I want to believe so. So she will probably have those periods, those
Yeah.
episodes, exactly. And then she becomes okay. So after...
We'll cut so that he can take water. There is water there, Momo. There's water there.
I didn't even cut. It's cut.
Oh, okay. I'll edit.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so during that time, she was actually having those episodes.
Of not breathing,
Difficulty
well,
breathing, yeah.
and still passing out.
And once in a while, the passing out just came to, all of a sudden they were over. All of a sudden we didn't have those episodes, yeah. But then the steroids for me, sometimes I'd want to blame on them, but you see all these other doings of the Lord, there are things you cannot actually question. because at some point I think she was put on some medicine which was making her heart beat faster.
Why?
I think
What led to that?
I wouldn't know. At times I tend to lock out my mind from getting into the nitty-gritties because they don't give me like a very good memory out of it. But the whole idea was it's a known fact that those kind of medicine, they kind of make your heart beat faster.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was put on that, and then they were also withdrawn. Yeah, so for them they had to make sure that she's more on the steroids.
On the steroids.
Yeah, so I think that one did not augur well so well, because what happened with that is her heart could not contain it anymore, so it kind of expanded.
Okay.
Yes.
This is when she started taking them to the time her heart began to expand.
Yes.
How long was that?
Wow, this was now
Months later?
Yeah, months later. Because from the onset, she used to, when she was going to school, she was okay. She would swim. She was doing so much, she would play around. Everything was okay. But then now what we came to realize is that this is something that would have been detected earlier. So from the earlier detection, and it's 1 in a million. I don't know how true it is.
The condition that
the
she
condition,
had.
yes, it's 1 in so many. So from there, she was not able to do so much because she was getting so tired easily. Her heart now is bigger than what she can manage, and yeah. So it became a bit difficult for her.
Okay. So when did it become much more difficult? How long did she live in this condition?
Like for almost a year and a half. Almost a year and a half. Yeah.
So it was
because
in and out of hospital.
Yes, in and out of. It was actually in and out of hospital. What I came to realize is the thing we take for granted, like oxygen, we had to buy. But the beauty of it is that we never bought. God had made sure that.
Wait, it reached a point where
She was put on oxygen.
She was put on oxygen, and
Yes.
she needed to be discharged from hospital, and she needed oxygen at home.
Yeah, we
So
were
you
told
were
the
told to
only
get
way we
oxygen.
can go with her at home is to make sure that you have oxygen.
The way people tank of oxygen, you're walking
Yes.
around with the air, the free air that we breathe.
Yes.
It had become very difficult
It
for her
had
to
become
breathe
very
because her heart
difficult.
had expanded, and
Yeah.
the steroids, she was still on them
Until
the heart expanded and she lived.
Yes. So ideally, what we want to do was to make sure we have a cylinder, which you can only hire. You cannot have a cylinder.
You can't buy
You
your own.
can't buy your own. Yeah, you can only hire.
And how much was the cost? I don't know.
I think at that time we were in a situation where we don't want to look at the cost per se, because I remember at some point when we were told to go do a test and we didn't have that money, and I was already out of work and we were doing business, and I was in business because ideally why we were being frustrated with my third pregnancy is because I was to go start doing my own thing. I was thinking, this is about time. Let me go do my own thing, Let me focus my energy on what I can call with my own, And now you have this session that you're pregnant again and all that. So for me to go do that, it was kind of impossible, So you're also thinking, you're lamenting on yourself that how can it have come at such a point as this, So we had to shelve so many things. We had to shelve, though in the long run they all came to play. But at that point, when someone owes you money and you need that money and you're calling them that please kindly just pay me because I need to pay for.
Need it for her health.
Yes, for her health. I need to do
The
this
tests
test.
were
Yeah, because
so many tests.
exactly. And that time the doctor is like, I need the results. I
Was there a
cannot
time
do.
she stayed in hospital? She was admitted for a long
Oh
time.
yeah, so many times she was admitted, like for probably 4 days, 3 days until she's stable, and then that's when you're out, So she has to be stable for you to go out. So at this point, when the doctor is saying, go get this test, and you don't have money, and you're thinking, okay, fine,
You need the test.
you need the test, you need the results. He is just telling you, do whatever from wherever you can get them from, just bring me the results. And we didn't have a choice, but somehow God provided. I don't know what my husband did. I just bless God for him. Because I think he spoke to people, and the people who actually felt him and provided at that time. Yeah, because we had issues on, even from the house we were staying. it was getting too cold that it was actually kind of precipitating everything. Because the house is so cold,
which is dangerous for her.
It was actually dangerous for her. It was actually dangerous for her. And see, our plans were we need to shift from that house, go to another house, that is warmer and all that. But now, because you have baby number 3, where do you start from? You can't start thinking of building or renting out. This one is, you are just confused, per se. You are confused. That's the point where you don't know you don't know where to start from. You don't know where to start questioning God. You don't know how to pray. You're just thinking, okay, fine. You're thinking, okay, now I'm in this mix. I'm just, they say I'm totally sold out to Christ.
Yeah.
Here now you're totally sold out to problems.
I need now.
Yes.
God take me through.
Yes, because now your kid is hurting to a point that there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do.
Like you used to look at her at home, she's in pain.
She is in pain.
In terms of her breathing.
Yes. I remember there's a doctor I went to see at some point, because now you see you're in a point where you're looking for anything. You're desperate. And she thought that Daisy was big enough to pretend, because she thought it was hysterical. The kid is hysterical. That's why she's behaving like that.
She's reacting to
exactly. And when she saw her, she was like, "What? This is difficult." Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So we got desperate to a point where we were looking for even people who could just pray for her. Because we're just thinking, okay, now we need someone to pray for her.
Yeah.
And we need to get over this thing, And I think that's what actually happened. We were just sending our prayer requests to everyone.
Yeah.
You pray for us.
Our baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now, I remember asking one doctor who was attending to her, and was like, is there something that you can do? And she told me there's nothing you can do. We are talking about a vein, and the veins are this small. And the pressure that is coming out is this much. Yeah, so it cannot pass the oxygen. That is what she's suffering from. So that was it. That was it.
Yeah. So this took like 1.5 years of that.
Yes.
In and out of hospital, your baby is struggling to breathe.
Yes. On things that we take for granted,
Oxygen.
Yes.
At this particular point in time, what was running through your mind as a believer? You've prayed, you've sent out all your prayer requests. What is happening?
As I said, I think I was just thinking that maybe I made wrong decisions in life. Because this is not something I had bargained for. Maybe I am carrying a sin that is making me go through this. Maybe I have done something wrong. And I can tell you for free, until recently, when my pastor was teaching us about sin consciousness, and he told us, as long as you are saved, you have been the old is gone, the new has come. You are no longer that person.
Yes.
So you should not live in bondage of your yesteryears, because you are a new creature. The old is gone. This is a new being. And I think and maybe
so
I thought
God was punishing you for something.
Exactly. Why should I go through this? Why should I be the person who is now mourning my daughter? I thought maybe there's something I've done.
So what kept you going at this time?
Honestly, I think it's just prayers of the saints.
Yeah.
Because I don't think myself I would have done it myself. I wouldn't. I think the people who were interceding for me, and those prayers are the ones who are keeping me so far. Yeah.
So at this time, what happened after the 1.5 years that
At that time already Jada was there.
Yes.
So it had just come to pass that whatever Daisy had predicted that you're going to have another baby has come to pass, and now she went to be the Lord. But I remember when we were in hospital,
before her
passing, there's a time my mother-in-law came, and God bless her because she has been so she's really held our hand also during all that time, because she was also sick and she had to come back from her missions. And when she came, sorry,
yeah,
So my mother-in-law had come, and when she came to see Daisy in hospital, Daisy was talking of her birthday. And see, we are already in, maybe at that time it was May, and she's talking of her birthday, which is going to happen very soon.
When?
In May, that is in May.
And when is her birthday?
And her birthday is in January 25th. So she was talking of her birthday that is coming. And we told her, oh Daisy, your birthday was already in January. We are done with your birthday. And she's like, no ma'am, when I'm going to have my birthday, let me have a cake. And right on that cake, Princess Abba. You know, and we're like, okay, why Princess Abba?
Why?
And she's like, oh no, just do a cake for me, and then buy for me a pink dress, and you know. So, okay, it came to pass that we did her birthday, and I think maybe that is one of the ones.
So she stayed on until January.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, we're in May.
We are in
and
May.
These are her requests.
Yeah, that's her
Princess
birthday.
Abba?
Yeah.
With a cake.
And with a cake, and that was till June. June, yes, and she passed on
In hospital.
in hospital.
One of those visits.
Yes,
This
one
time
of
it
those
was very
visits.
intense.
This time it was very intense. I remember my mom just told me, okay, I remember calling my mom and telling her, Mom, the way this is behaving, I don't think I can handle it. And she told me, do this, you come.
How was she behaving?
She'd actually, her feet were getting swollen.
Sodium
Yeah.
something.
Her feet were actually getting swollen, so I think maybe it was about her organs not functioning, or I don't know. I never understood, and I think at times maybe, I don't know whether I'm ignorant, or maybe it's just because I just decided to close that chapter. I didn't want to get into so many things, because at some point I went to hospital and I told the doctor, you know what? I've actually gone and researched on this thing, and I've realized that there are 5 reasons that can cause such as this, you know. And she was like, no, they're not 5, they're 6. So I think maybe she was just trying to make me understand that you are not well informed about this thing. And to me, I was like, I think it was just too complicated for me, because I would not understand it. It was just complicated. And we went through. I rushed we rushed to Pumwani. I remember that day we rushed to Pumwani.
You were at home,
We were at home,
and then what happened that you did
and
that?
then
you had to
her
rush?
feet just started swelling, and I think she had so many. She had some pass outs, you know, and she was actually feeling the cold and all that, you know. And I told you before that we had some desperate times where we were actually even looking for people who can just pray for her. And one guy told us to go read Psalms 118, and that was her scripture, that I shall not die but I shall live. And she used to hold on to that.
At 4 years.
Right now she's around 5.
5-year-old.
Yeah, that's right now she's around 5. And she used to say, I shall live, I shall not die, you know. And we used to sing this song, Smile Like a Storm, you know. And at some point she would just look at me and saying, you, let's just sing because now you're passing time. But it used to be like her song, you know. And declaring that I shall live and not die. But now, these points now, she's just looking at me. And I remember when we rushed to hospital that day, after I told my mom, and we went to Pumwani, the pediatrician there looked at her and said, no, this one now, she needs to get admitted. So we rushed to Gertrude's. And luckily, somehow God places everything in place. Because I remember calling our doctor, and she said, I am coming. She had gone for a function, and she said, I am coming. You know, as in, that is on it was on a Saturday. A Saturday, yes. She said, Clara, I'm coming right there to Gertrude's, you know. And she came all the way. Somehow, and she told me, do you know there was no traffic? I've come all the way from, I think, Morango. I can't remember where exactly she was coming from, but from her own personal issues. And one of the doctors we called, you know, when you're desperate, you take all these doctors' numbers, you know, you don't have a choice. And we had called him, and he said, there's nothing I can do. I'm in a function somewhere. But this one, she came all through. You know, so she was, you know, like the way you just believe that God gives you those divine helpers, even in doctors, you know, He is the great physician. So all these guys are just working on His behalf.
Yes.
So she came and she was like, wow, how did you manage to sleep with her the whole night? Because even her, she was shocked. And I think because when as I said, when strong is the only thing you have, is the only option you have no choice. You have to hold on to this kid because there are these others who are looking at you. How are you going to respond to this thing? So she directed that she goes directly to ICU. And I think I was just like, wow, ICU. You know, now you have panicked, and those are the last words you want to hear, that your kid is going to ICU. And she was so calm. All of a sudden, when she was in ICU, she was so calm. But before that, when we were with her,
Daisy.
yes, when we were with her and we were just trying to make of the moment, we were drawing houses because her desire was to be, she used to love big houses. She would love a house with stairs. She would actually get into this house and just admire the stairs. And she would not want to get out. And one of the time, I remember pleading with someone to just give us a house that had stairs for her sake. You know, just for her to give her moment to live in a house with stairs. And her prayer was, I know Dad has gone to look for money to buy us a house.
Wow.
That was her prayer. So, Mom, today Dad is still at work because he's looking for money to buy us the house. And I'll say yes. And that day we drew with her a house. I remember when we drew with her house, and she said where her room would be. And she said, this is where my room will be. This is where Dad will be parking his car. You know, everything.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And I think I still have that pictorial. And later on, now she was rushed to ICU, and where she was so calm, no pain, nothing, calm like nothing,
Calm,
calm,
serene.
everything. As in, and everyone who knew when ICU came, you know, guys were rushing. Okay, now it has taken a point of she's in ICU.
She'd never been to ICU before.
No, never. So guys were coming, and they're like, okay, is there a problem? You know, this kid's okay. You know, what is making her be in ICU? Because ICU expect guys to have those two gadgets and all that. But she's so calm. And when we were breaking, I remember I was advised to go home so that I can have a rest. You know, I was tired. And my mom told me, Clara, stay with her. And actually the nurses there told me, just go, because no, you cannot stay with her tonight in ICU. You have to be outside.
But your mother advised you just
stay with it. Just stay with it so that at least in case of anything and she calls out, you're there. And after being told to go, we went. But then we left our numbers and everything. And then we left, but then she called the first time.
Who?
The hospital called.
All right.
And she asked to speak with us.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember that night before she called, Jada, because she was young and she was sleeping next to us, Jada kept on crying first, and then we received a call. And we would call, the first time we received the call and we checked, and she was like, Mom, where are you guys? And we told her, Mom, we are at home, we're checking on you, Jada, because she had developed a bond with Jada. She used to really, really love Jada.
Sister.
Yes. She had developed a bond with Jada. And they told her, I'm with Jada, I'm checking on Jada, and then I'm coming there tomorrow morning, first thing I shall be there. And she told me, no, Mom, you were supposed to have been here. And I think that is one thing that sometimes really traumatized me, why I decided to go back home. No. And I told her I'll be there. And I remember that night we woke up with my husband and we were praying. We were actually praying, just telling God that, God, she will live and not die. That is your portion for us. She will live, we shall live and not die. Our kid is not going to die, so shall be well. You know, because I see you know the place you were thinking she'll go. So we prayed, and then we fell asleep. So the next time when she called, we were called and we were told, you need to come to hospital immediately. So before that, somehow the car that we had, the lights could not just go on. So we could not rush with it to hospital at night. All of a sudden, it just jammed on the lights, all of them, you know. And it's not that they had, it was a battery thing or anything, but the lights just went off. So we couldn't use it at night. So we called my brother-in-law, and he was quite gracious, and he came. Somehow he could not sleep even him that day. So he came, and he took us in a record time of 9 minutes from Morogoro to Muthaiga. That time we didn't have the overpass. You had to go to town.
Yep.
And then we go to Muthaiga. And we had a record time of 9 minutes. You were in hospital. Yeah, and when we went straight to ICU, and she was not there.
Oh,
She was.
yeah. But she's in a better place now. She's in heaven. She's with Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had gone, and I remember my husband was in the way. Where is she? He said she's gone. But that night, during that time, the doctor had gone on strike. So we thought maybe that was one of the reasons. Maybe no one was there to attend to her. But they said actually there was one doctor who came in because they had called him. He came in immediately. My dad, she couldn't make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She make it.
So, Clara, it's okay, it's okay. Looking back, Clara, what do you think when you commune with the Lord and what runs through your mind?
It was a bit heavy because
Jeez,
I came to realize that first this time when we were reading about being in the perfect will of God and being in the good will of God, and I used to question myself, maybe is it that probably I'm not in the perfect will of God? Maybe this is not what was meant for me, but maybe somehow, I started questioning, did I get into marrying the right person? You have these questions.
Am I being punished?
Am I being punished, for things that I did, and you're just telling God that this is actually not fair for me, But there's one thing my friend told me, that at times we forget our vows so fast, that when we're getting married, we forget that it's in good times and in bad times. And I think I was taking it so much on me, and I'm forgetting that also my husband is suffering, that he is hurting the same way. This is one person he had longed to. He really wanted to have a Daisy,
Daisy.
Yes.
Now.
And here she is no more. And I thought maybe I'm just being too mean on him and thinking that he is God sent and is able to handle it. And he is just going through the same thing that I'm going through, And maybe even worse because he's probably not crying in front of me, me, I'll just break down in front of him. And you'll be there to hold me. Yes, and just be strong for
family.
Exactly. And I thought for myself, maybe or rather, not just maybe, I was being too mean. This is a commitment that we did before God and before men, that in good times and in bad times we shall be together, And so there's this point where a bad time is coming and we still have to be together. I pray that most people don't forget the vows, But maybe at times they tell him, actually we need to be repeating these vows, not just on the wedding day, but it has to be like our lifestyle, We need to remember that this is what we decided, this is what we said, this is what we uttered before God and before men, that we are making this covenant, that in good times and in bad times, in sickness and in health, we shall still be together, And this good time, we've had our good times, and this is a bad time, this is a season that we need to embrace each other. And maybe that is what just came to make me understand that we are going through what we had confessed. It is a season. And Deuteronomy 29:29 says that whatever that has been revealed to us is for us. What God has not revealed for us, it was not meant for us. So let's live with what has been revealed to us. That whatever we know. And so I stopped questioning God to why did you take this? Why did you have to make us go through all this? And what sin have we committed for us to go through all this? But now just to go through a healing session of saying, I am loved of God. I am no longer what maybe the devil want me to believe, that there's something I've done. I am special in my own way, and I was born to bring up an angel, because to me now it was an angel, and not everyone can bring up an angel. So I started looking at myself lucky and blessed. I am this blessed woman who gives birth to angels. So and for me, Daisy has been an angel to us.
Yeah.
She has been one person we believe. The Bible says, "And the prayers of the saints,"
Yes.
are an aroma to God. So
and Clara, in retrospect, when you look back, you've talked about you thought it was a punishment from God. You thought it was maybe you there's something wrong that you did, or you married the wrong person, or this and that, or this can't be of the Lord. But looking back, does it mean really that when people go through hard times, death, such things of loved ones, does it mean that it can't be God?
No,
I'm being punished of God.
No. You see, what we need to understand is that in the world we'll go through so many tribulations. We are human, and we are there to be built. What I usually say is that I pray so that even if I don't get the answer to my prayer, it builds my hope in God. And He who has called me is faithful. That's why I am holding on to this hope. I am holding on to this hope because He has already put for me that which He has for me for that day.
Amen.
And the only way I can get that on that day is for me to go through all this, and the for lack of a better word, the afflictions and the tribulations and the trials, all that we go through are just they are building our maturity. They're building our maturity. They're building our character in some way, because there's someone we have been put aside for. You go through this so that people know that God is still there. He can still hold you despite it all. That day I remember praying. I was praying Psalms 23, and I was telling God, why am I walking through this valley of shadow of death? Why am I going through this valley of death? Why is the devil having a feast over what we are going through? Because I was thinking maybe we have been put to go through this for some reason. The devil is having a feast because of what we have done, but no, He was there by our side.
Yes.
He's still on the throne. The rod and the staff, they were our comfort. They really comforted us because everything was in play. I look at it in terms of how God made it so possible for us to pay up the debt in hospital, go through those financial constraints, everything, and even be able to marry within that week, and it could only be God. It wasn't man.
And Daisy, I remember Clara, I remember you telling me that you even thank God for the years He gave you with Daisy.
Oh yes,
that He gave you Daisy.
Yes. At some point it was just a thanksgiving, because you see, we are all predestined for a certain purpose, and I had to look back and say, what was her purpose for me? And maybe at some point it's for us to be closer as a close unit, as a family, because maybe we were thinking we have it all. We are okay, everything is okay, this is how it's supposed to, this is how it's supposed to be. But no, we went through this so that we can be closely knit, so that we understand the need of praying as a family. We understand the need of union. Maybe we had taken some things for granted, but God brought us closer at that point. Actually, God brought us closer, and we had to look at things from a different light. It is not normal for us to be awake. That's why I tell you, every day when my kids are awake, I thank God. For me, it's another opportunity. It's another reason for us to know this is the day the Lord has made. We need to rejoice and just be grateful for that particular day. And this is not guaranteed.
Sorry. I know Daisy. She's the beauty of it all as a family. You know that the hope that you have in Christ. You will see Daisy again. You will see her again.
Yes.
I think it's such a joy.
It's a joy because you see, it builds your hope. It builds your continued trust in God, knowing that it is not in vain. Whatever you're going through is not in vain. There's a reward awaiting. There's a reward awaiting you. And what a joy it will be for us to meet together.
It will be such a joy.
Exactly. It's not in vain. It is not in vain. Yes.
Clara, there are many women who have lost their children. I know I've gone for 2 burials for people who've lost little children. So 1, 2 years, and another one hadn't even reached a year old, a few months old. What would you like to tell such women, such parents who I've reached my end, I'm done, I can't face this anymore?
Wow. Do you know our end is God's beginning? You know, when
I like that. Say
Yeah.
that again. Just say that again.
Actually, our end is that is where the point where God begins with you, because it never to it. Our God is a God of possibilities. It is never the end for Him, you know. And I remember when we were done with Daisy and we were just thinking, okay, fine, now where do we start from here?
What next?
What
Okay.
next? And I had the assurance that whatever has happened. You know, it was for God. Whatever has not been revealed to me, it was not meant for
And
me.
you had the surety that this is the doing of
Of
the Lord. I have
yes,
surrendered.
I have
to
surrendered
Him.
everything.
I
you
think that's
know.
the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You know, believers
It
are
is-
saints dying in the Lord.
Yes, especially a kid, you know, and
Especially a kid.
especially a kid, and the kid who is telling you, I will live and I shall not die, you know. And there's a time even she had told me, Mom, I will not feel this pain again. Don't worry, I shall not feel
And
this
her
pain
prayers
again.
were answered.
Yes. And to me, I was giving thanks that wow, God is coming through. You know, this healing is coming now, fast and furious, she'll be well. But for her, I think it was all about she is just going to have her rest. You know, and what I can encourage any other person who's gone through what I've gone through is that there's always hope. There's always hope. I remember when we were praying, when we had surrendered everything and we were just waiting upon the Lord, and we were thinking, okay, should we get another kid or not, you know? And we got another kid actually, but it not come to term.
Oh.
Yes. And I was reading Joshua. I was reading the book of Joshua. And Joshua had mentioned about, it was about people to go and possess
Yes.
what was meant for them.
Do not be slack. Go.
Yes,
Why are you slack?
go possess what was meant for you.
Yes.
This is what you have been promised. So go take it over. And I was thinking, wow, okay, I need to have this kind of courage. And I told God, you know what? I don't want to laugh like Sarah laughed and think that it's not possible with you. And even if I do, probably in my heart, because you search the intent of man, and probably you might think that I'm thinking it's not possible. Father, just give me a turnaround. Give me something that I can look back and say, God, we have possessed our new land. No. Yes. And I prayed over it, and I remember we were blessed with the Joshua.
Wow.
It's funny how we were praying. Actually, I remember calling my mother-in-law when we were going to show her this is the place we are going to put up our home. And when she was praying in the spirit, she prayed for Joshua.
Really?
Yes.
You hadn't talked about
We hadn't talked about it. And she said, God, I know, and I'm committing Joshua before you. Because I was pregnant at that time.
Okay.
Yes. And she said, God, I'm committing Joshua before you. And I know that he's going to play around this home. He's going to bring the joy that has been longed for in this family. You know, because now for us, the joy had already, you know, we were just living for the day, you know. Because now you already have a new name. And you want to name you know, it gives you a new name, which you don't want. You don't want. You just want to go somewhere.
Take away that reproach.
Yeah, you
Now
know,
we want new beginnings.
you want new beginnings. And I can tell anyone who had gone through the same that there's always hope in God.
Yes.
There's always hope. You know, don't despair. Don't despair. Unless nothing separates you from the love of God. You know,
Nothing
let
cannot
nothing.
get
It is
not-
so easy to read those words that it is very hard to live them. You
But
know,
it is possible.
it is very possible. It is very possible. So let nothing separate you from the love of God. Let not even death separate you from the love of God. Because He who called is faithful. You know, He wouldn't have told us of, I'm going to do for you this and that, if He had not known. That is the same thing He's asking the disciples. I would not have told you if I knew it was not wrong. I would not have told you about the mansions if I knew it was not possible. So He is able to do it. And let nothing separate you from the love of God. Because all these things shall come to pass. You know, and to me, my whole understanding was to live is Christ, to die is gain. You know,
Wow.
yeah, to live is
And
Christ.
that's what Daisy lived.
Yes, exactly, and that is exactly what she lived. She lived in Christ, and to her dying was gain. Yes, so
Yeah. You know, going back to the very beginning when you told us the legacy that you leave for your children.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just connecting with this. This Daisy, she knew the Lord. It's Mom, I'm going home.
Yeah.
There'll be no more pain, no
Oh,
more.
yeah.
The legacy that what more? can you live, as a parent for a child, that legacy of faith
Mm-hmm.
and integrity, let
Yeah.
alone resources.
Exactly.
That one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing in the end,
Yeah.
a parent too, if you're not born again, I don't know, what do you tell them?
You see, in the end, all this
We
shall
have that
pass.
hope in Christ.
Yes, all this shall pass.
Yeah.
All these things shall pass. It is all vanity. Whatever we are holding on, whatever we're chasing after, it is all vanity in some way. Because the most important thing is, what are we handing over? Eternity. We
Actually,
have
we're
to
just
go.
stewards.
It's all about that mark.
Yes.
We are chasing that mark. The mark of the high calling, because we just need to press. Let's press. Let's press to the mark of the higher calling, because that is our ultimate goal. After all this is said and done, we will all stand before God. Yeah, and a record shall be thrown out, and we shall all be asked, what did you do? What did you do with all that you were given? What did you do? What did you leave behind for your children? What did you give? Because this, as I said, motherhood is divine. It's a responsibility you've been given.
A steward.
Or you're just a steward, by the way.
Yep.
You're just a steward. One day you'll be brought to task and you'll be asked, what did you do? Yeah. What did you do? What did you accomplish? Press on. Yeah.
Final words, Clara.
Wow.
And thank you for being so strong. My goodness. This is, you've been so strong.
This has been 6 years. This has been 6 years. Actually, it's the 6th year. But what I can say is, God has promised us so much in His Word, that when we take it back to Him, He is faithful. He is faithful. In Psalms, it says, Psalm 91, it says, your faithfulness has been our shield.
Amen.
His faithfulness has been our shield. Those are the things, that is the hope that we've been holding on to. And at the end, it says, with long life I shall satisfy you. And that is the prayer I pray for my children. That we shall not go through what we have gone through again, because you have assured them of long life. And when we take it back to Him, that this is what that came out of your mouth. And nothing comes out of you is void, because it goes back, it brings forth life. So I speak the same words to my children, that with long life, God, you have promised that they shall live.
Amen.
You will satisfy them with long life. And that's my prayer for every other parent. That with long life, they shall be satisfied.
Amen.
Yeah.
You mentioned Moi. Too much shout-outs as we wind down.
Wow, Moi. To all Mabeshte Wakampo, to all Moi people, you guys have been my support system. God bless you all.
Anybody else you want to shout out? Bernard,
my family, all the Mugandas, the Savalas, all of you guys have just been the best. I don't know how to throw shout outs. Is that how it's done?
Do it. You can even do it
in your nusu ya konana. But anyway, as in the grace of God has been sufficient, and I wouldn't have come this far if all the people who have stood by us were not there. So I believe everyone has been positioned in their lives, and everyone has a support system that God has granted for them to hold your hand. Amidst all. Yes.
Thank you so much, Clara.
Salamu mingi.
Thanks for making it and for sharing this. It's a difficult story, but you did it. Thank you so much.
It's the grace of God.
Asante sana. Please, let's just hug each other over here. Love each other. Thank you so much. And for these and more videos like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you loved her and Bernard and all those guys, Mabeshe, who have been mentioned here, make sure you comment and like the video.
Daisy Days, that's where we work. We have a company called Daisy Days.
Make sure Daisy Days. Make sure you like and subscribe. And like the video. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you.